Hey, what's up guys? Matt here coming to you from Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson. So today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about a new paint collection that was launched a couple months ago now by Harley-Davidson Motor Company, and that is called the Enthusiast Collection. So this is a new tag or a new series that Harley-Davidson just launched this year. They teased it a little bit at the beginning of the model year when they had the global launch for the 2022 model year. So these paint sets are what they're calling the GI Enthusiast paint sets. These first were inspired by obviously veterans and people who are currently serving in the US military. And by the way, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, everyone who has served and is currently serving in the US military. We really appreciate your service. Thank you. But the Enthusiast Collection moving forward is going to be a commemoration or a celebration of the different unique riders and communities within the Harley-Davidson family. As opposed to like celebrating the bikes, these are going to be more celebrating the people that ride the bikes. So again, these were first announced a couple months ago, but it has taken me this long to get two of them in the same place at the same time. So I thought I would do some nice walk around footage of them and show these off and talk to you about them in detail. And the Enthusiast tag or label that they're putting on these paint sets will be an ongoing thing every model year, where they will celebrate a new or different type of rider or different community within the Harley-Davidson riding world. So I found it very appropriate that they started off by celebrating veterans and people that are currently serving in the US military, because a sizable percentage of people that ride Harley-Davidson motorcycles are veterans. And Harley-Davidson obviously has a huge history being involved with the military, probably most notably in World War II. And so some of the inspiration from these bikes can be traced back to like the WLA, which was used in World War II. And so Harley-Davidson has a lot of ties both in its riding community and in military bikes that it's built in the past. So I felt like this was a very appropriate one to start off with. I'll be very curious to see what paint sets Harley-Davidson does in the future. So the paint color is Mineral Green Denim Deluxe. We have seen this mineral green denim used on other bikes, specifically the Road King Special. This is an available color in that bike. Now they add the word deluxe at the end of the paint color description to signify that it is part of the Enthusiast Collection. And as part of the Enthusiast Collection, you've got a lot of military inspired graphics on these bikes. And I feel like these graphics are very reminiscent of the World War II era in the look and the font and everything that we saw back in those days. And obviously the army green or the mineral green denim ties into that traditional army green on these bikes. But I thought I would go over a couple frequently asked questions as well. So a lot of people ask, okay, are these serialized bikes? Are they limited production bikes? These are very limited production bikes, however, they are not serialized. Harley-Davidson left it somewhat open-ended to production numbers. When a bike is serialized, is it a little bit more collectible? Yeah, I would say so. But just to give you guys an idea of the exclusivity of these bikes, we've only received one of each of these two models. So my guess is, and this is a total just Matt Laidlaw guess, is there's probably about 1,500 to 2,000 of each of these bikes being made worldwide. I don't know, that's just a guess. But like I said, they are not serialized. I do like the fact that Harley-Davidson has coined this the Enthusiast Collection. One, because they just changed their Hog magazine to the Enthusiast magazine, and the term enthusiast on their quarterly publication was used back in the day, and they switched back to that name, which I thought was a good move. And now they're using that label or terminology to use different paint and graphics to highlight different communities of riders that Harley-Davidson has seen over the years. So I think it's a really cool concept. Again, I'm curious to see what kind of inspiration they pull from other riding communities in the future. So the two models, and the only two models that we're seeing these new paint graphics apply to, are the Pan America and the Tri-Glide. Personally, I think the two models were very appropriate as well. This paint just complements the overall rugged look of the Pan America in a big way. It's a bike that definitely looks like and feels like it could be used in combat situations. And the second one, the Tri-Glide, I think is appropriate too, because let's face it, we have a lot of aging veterans in this country, and so I feel like it's a riding demographic that frequently would buy the trike anyways. Tri-Glides are getting crazy popular at Sturgis. I wasn't at Sturgis this year, but from everyone I talked to, everyone just says there's a ton of three-wheelers at Sturgis right now. And so I feel like the two models, the Tri-Glide and the Pan America, were two bikes that I feel like were very appropriate for this paint set. You are paying a little bit of an MSRP premium for this paint, as to be expected. A base Pan America Special is a hair under $20,000, and to get the Mineral Green Denim Deluxe, you're looking at an $800 bump in the MSRP. And on the Tri-Glide, just because of the larger surface area and the more painted parts on this bike, you're looking at a $2,400 price increase. Base Tri-Glide in black is $35,699. That's MSRP. So you tack another $2,400 onto that to get it in the mineral green Denim Deluxe. Some other frequently asked questions I get about this bike is people want to know if there's anything mechanically or equipment wise different from the regular Tri-Glide and Pan America. The answer is no. It's the exact same bike and trike. The only thing that's different is just strictly the paint color and graphics. It's still the same model designation of RA1250S and the FLH TCU TG. It's the exact same model, not a new model at all. People always ask me about collectability, and that's one of those questions where it's like, well, it's hard to determine in 10, 20, 30 years how collectible these bikes will be. That's something that's very hard to predict. One predictor is, however, obviously the exclusivity or the limited amount produced, and I already covered that a second ago. The other question I get a lot is, how do you get one of these two bikes? When the Enthusiast Collection was first announced, every dealer got to get one of them, and beyond that, they need to be special ordered. So to find one of these just sitting on the floor is probably somewhat rare, although they still are available right now. Your best bet is to contact your local dealer and ask about getting one special ordered right now. You still have a window right now of about 2 months or so, give or take a little bit, to actually order one. And that's probably another reason why Harley-Davidson left the quantity that they were going to produce somewhat open-ended, as they were going to base a lot of it off of desirability and basically demand on special orders for these two units. Another initial reaction I'm getting out of a lot of people is, oh wow, didn't Harley-Davidson do this before? And the answer to that is yes. Harley-Davidson did do a paint set that is similar to this on a 2016 Slim S. So starting in the 2015 model year, Harley-Davidson launched some S models in their Softail line, namely the Fat Boy S and the Slim S. And I believe the next year, the 16 and maybe even the 17 model year, they had a military themed paint scheme that looked very similar to the ones you see here. And wouldn't you know it, we just happen to have one in our pre-owned inventory right here. So this bike definitely isn't stock. You've got things like custom handlebars on here and things like that, but the paint you see on here is the factory paint. The thing that was significant about the S models was the fact that they had the 110 cubic inch twin cam engine. The base engine for most of the models at that time was the 103 cubic inch. So these bikes had the equivalent of what the CVOs had at the time. And then halfway through the 16 model year, that's when Harley-Davidson introduced the Lowrider S. And those S models all ran up until the 18 model year, when Harley-Davidson put the Milwaukee 8 engine in all of the Softail chassis. That's when they came out with the new Softail frame. Anyways, that's probably more information than you guys asked for when you clicked on this video, but that was the bike that we saw something similar to, and that wasn't any special like limited edition paint set or anything. That counted as like a custom color at the time, so you paid about a $500 upcharge for that as opposed to the black. So these paint sets are a little bit more special, a little bit more exclusive. Another question that I get asked a lot is, okay Matt, what is it about these paint sets that make them enthusiast paint sets as opposed to just the custom paint that Harley-Davidson has come out with in the past? And we've seen paint sets like the Arctic Blast and the Eagle Eye that was like that, almost like a neon yellow with that big eagle painted on the side. And we've seen the bikes that are like the Patriot bikes, that are the Road Glides, that are the red and white and the blue and white bikes that we saw a few years ago. So Harley-Davidson has been shipping bikes from the factory with limited edition paint sets on them for a while now. But I do like the fact that Harley-Davidson has given this paint collection a little bit more of a unique classification. I feel like that adds more value to it. And like I mentioned already, it nails down a little bit more of a precise inspiration behind the paint schemes as well, which creates a little bit more meaningful bond between it and the rider. And I think it creates a little bit better product understanding for the customers as well. I personally like to know all the details if I were to buy a vehicle, motorcycle, car, whatever from the manufacturer. I want to know what makes this paint set or this package different and exclusive from other paint sets or packages, what the inspiration is behind it, how many were made, and any other small details that I feel like just makes the ownership of the type of vehicle like this a little bit better. And that's also kind of one of the reasons why I'm making this video as well, is because a lot of times Harley-Davidson comes out with these new paint sets every year, and there's a lot of confusion among the buyers as to exactly what it is. People say, okay, well, is this a CVO? Is this a parts and accessory paint set that was installed on the bike? Is this a paint set that was shipped directly on the bike from the factory? And I think people like to know that stuff. And this is also not to be mistaken with the Icons collection. The Icons collection was first introduced last year with the Electroglide Revival. It's Harley-Davidson's basically retro or throwback version of the 1969 Electroglide, which is a really significant bike in Harley-Davidson's lineup. And so that is something completely different. I'm going to put a link to my video on that bike that I produced last year. So at this point, that's a new collection as well. And so that Electroglide Revival is the one and only Icons Collection bike that we've seen thus far. Now the Icons Collection bikes are serialized. There's going to be a very limited production of those bikes, around 1,500 if I'm not mistaken. And those do have their own model designation. And so the equipment on them is unique to that bike, whereas the Enthusiast Collection is just paint alone. So hopefully that clears up a little bit about what these different product collections are and exactly what you're getting, exactly what you're paying for, and what type of exclusivity and production numbers we're looking at on these things. Anyways guys, thanks a lot for watching. Currently we do have this trike available on the floor right now if anybody's interested. We also do have this Slim in our pre-owned inventory as well. The Pan America, however, is spoken for. I want to thank Steve for allowing me to feature his bike on the YouTube channel here. As always, I want to get your guys' opinion. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the GI Enthusiast paint collection here. And let me know guys in the comment section below, and let Harley-Davidson know what Enthusiast collections do you want to see in the future? What community of riders do we need to celebrate on a bike perhaps next year? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button to check out all my future Harley-Davidson content. And if you guys are looking for a Harley-Davidson in Southern California, make sure you hit us up at Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson. Thanks a lot for watching guys. Later.